Hi, I'm Tori, and welcome to my kitchen. There's a good chance that if I'm cooking for myself, then dinner's going to be something that I'm going to pick out on the couch in my pyjamas. But every now and again, I like to feel like a bit more of a grown-up. And when I do, this is a dish that I turn to. It's a nifty little one-pan wonder of a fish fillet. I'm using sea bass with green beans, yogurt, some nuts, and then a sauce of burnt butter with it. So I can pull it together in about 4 or 5 minutes, so let's see how I go. First thing that I want to do is test whether my pan, which is over here, non-stick platter thing, is hot enough. And I'm going to do that by keeping it on the heat for a couple of minutes while I get everything set up, and then taking half a lemon and putting that face down on the pan. I could use my finger, but that would hurt. The lemon is better. If it starts to sizzle like that, you hear the little sizzle, then that means that it's on its way to being hot enough. Next thing that I'm going to do is take my fillet of fish and I'm going to make sure that the skin is really dry on it, just using some paper towel and rubbing it the wrong way. I want the skin and the flesh to be dry, so then it pan fries rather than stewing in the juices. Okay, so that's nice and dry, and then I'm just going to season and oil the pan a bit. So add a tiny bit of olive oil, really like 3 or 4 drops, not much at all, to the pan. And then I'm going to put salt in the pan rather than on the skin of the fish, so that way it's not going to slide off when I cook it. So just a tiny bit of salt in the pan, and then I'm going to slide my fish fillet in. You shimmy it in, and I can start hearing it crisping up. Okay, then I'm going to take a handful of green beans. The supermarket where I buy things niftily has green beans that are already cut, so I don't even need to use a knife. But otherwise, just take a handful and top and tail them and put them in the pan. And then the same thing with a handful of almonds, flaked almonds. And about 6 hazelnuts. And I think hazelnuts are the friendliest of nuts. They make everything taste good. Okay, so while that's going on, the beans are just softening a bit. The fish is frying. You want the fish to cook until the skin is crispy and it's become opaque, so it's no longer sort of clear and fishy looking, but it looks cooked and white halfway up the flesh. So I just move that around the pan. But if I take it off the heat for a second, put it over here, you can see that pretty much everything, bar some green leaves, fits in one pan. So that's dinner right there. The fact that it fits in one pan is a good thing for me because it follows the general rules that I set for myself for cooking for one, which is minimal cleaning up, because I cook, you clean. Doesn't work quite so well if you're the only one cooking and cleaning. And the other good thing about it is that it uses up most of what I buy, or it's ingredients that I can easily use for other things. Yogurts, that's breakfast. Nuts, that's snacks. Salad leaves, that's lunch tomorrow, or with any meal that I'll have this week. And butter, well, butter's an essential in life. And then half a lemon that's left, that's pretty much going to go in a gin and tonic, which I will be drinking while I cook, and then I'm drinking right now. So, I'm just going to check on the fish. That is opaque halfway up, so it doesn't take very long at all. And I'm going to check the skin, just by lifting it, and the skin is nice and crispy. So I'm going to gently flip that over, and keep that going in the pan there. Only for a couple of minutes more, even if that. Now the good thing about using white fish like that, like a sea bass fillet, is that you can easily substitute it. So you can use Eat-Tori, you can use whitebait, you can use whatever really you want. It's pretty indestructible. This fish, I think, is pretty much done. I just really want to seal it on the other side, the skinny fillet. And now I'm going to shimmy it onto the pan, out of the pan and onto the plate. My almonds, they're looking pretty toasted, and my beans, they still have a good bit of bite to them, which is how I like them. They're not too feeble. So I'm just going to sachet all of that out of the pan, put the nuts over the top of the beans and the fish, and then check my lemon. My lemon is nice and burnished like that, see? And so that is going to provide the dressing for my leaves. And the last thing I'm going to do is return the pan to the heat, and I'm going to add a teaspoon of butter. It's not much at all. I use more on my toast. I'm going to put that into the hot pan, wait for it to sizzle, and it's going to turn nut brown. And by turning nut brown, it's going to bring out some flavours in it, and it's also just going to become sexier. Fat, I think, is better when it's brown. Pretty much like my stomach. And then while that's browning away, I'm just going to take a teaspoon of natural yogurt and drizzle it over the top of the beans, the almonds, and the nuts. Bit of acid, bit of contrast. It's pretty good. Okay, I'm going to season it with salt and pepper while I'm waiting for my butter. Good sprinkling of pepper. My salt's over here. Just a tiny bit more for flavour. And now I'm going to check on my butter. If I bring it over and then just look at it in a teaspoon there, it's golden brown. And I'm just going to drizzle it gently over the top of the beans, over the top of the fish, and then I'm done. So, turn that up. There we go. A real live grown-up dinner in just a few minutes. The only thing left for me to do now is choose where I'm going to eat it. So, it's my dinner, it's my choice, and I'm going to take this one to the dining table. I'll see you sometime soon. Bye!